Hello and welcome to another video. So in this video I wanted to go over the portfolio project or website that you might build. Whether or not you actually need one and my thoughts about portfolio sites. Before I get into that, let's go over what a portfolio site is. I mean, essentially it's a website that is kind of like your online resume, and it's a place to show off your body of work that you're proud of or that you think is good enough to showcase to potential hiring managers. Usually they're very similar. There's a hero that consists of maybe a bit of flashy imagery, a picture of yourself, maybe something saying along the lines of, hello, my name is X. You scroll down and then there's some technologies that you've been working in, and below that there'll be some links to different projects that you've worked on. Right? They're all very standard. And portfolio sites are great from the perspective that it's an exercise that gets you coding, which is great because you're getting reps in, and the more reps you get in, the better, right? You're writing code with a goal in mind. You're also in charge of that goal and that design, right? And what the website is going to be portraying, what you're trying to say. You'll be setting up your own brand, right? These are all things that you need to think about when you start applying for jobs. Who am I, what am I good at, and how do I sell myself, right? That's what you're trying to do through your portfolio website. So in that sense, it's a really good exercise at getting you in that headspace and thinking about, how do I sell myself, okay? And there are some amazing portfolio websites out there that speak for themselves. They're really well designed, really well built, and the best ones, in my opinion, don't have too much animation, not too flashy, but what they do have is subtle, very clean and smooth. And I think those websites will make a hiring manager be like, oh, I want to learn more about this person, I'm intrigued. And that's because they're designed well, they're built well, and they're just nice to use. I also see a lot of portfolio websites out there, however, that don't look very good. They're not designed very nicely. They employ bad practices even. One of my pet peeves is when people use a hamburger for a fully expanded web page. No, a hamburger should be used for something like mobile or a tablet, on a smaller screen width. Little things like that. I think if you're not careful, you might actually detract or harm the impression that you're giving if you don't have a great portfolio website. So my recommendation is, if you're going to build one, keep it very simple. Look at some good ones for inspiration, but keep it very simple and make your projects the meat and potatoes of what you're trying to do. Don't focus on flash, just nice and simple, in my opinion, unless you're really good at that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, do you need a portfolio website to get a web development job? That's a resounding no. You really don't. And the reason I know that is because I didn't have a portfolio website when I got my first job. I have gotten to the end of the Rails module in the Odin project, and I started applying for jobs. And I didn't need one. I was never asked for one. I never gave it out. And I think I was going for a back-end role, right? Or a full stack role was my first job. I can't speak for front-end specific roles. Maybe if you're going as a front-end engineer where you have to show that you can build well-designed, well-built user interfaces that flow properly, that function properly when they're used, I can see the value in a portfolio website there, because you want people to click through to your live sites and actually be able to use them and interact with them, right? And I see that being something that you can do easily through a portfolio website. You just shoot the link off to a potential hiring manager and it's done, right? It's like a nice online business card or resume. If you're going into full stack or back end, the portfolio website is kind of redundant, like especially for back-end engineers. What are you going to show, right? That's what GitHub is for. And that kind of brings me to my kind of main point of this video is the portfolio website, I think, is give or take. It has pros and cons. But what you should really have is a well-organized GitHub presence. You can have your profile there, put a bit of information in there, but you don't have to go crazy with all the additional badges and metrics that you can show on GitHub. What is important is that your repos are well named, that you have good, clear commit histories of good messages, and that your README explains the project. Maybe, it explains the code, what this application is for, and the considerations that you made, and the things that you would improve if you had more time to spend on it, or you were going to kind of improve it, take it from MVP forward. These things are really important in my opinion. They show clean coding hygiene, someone who's serious about what they're doing. And it's also really good to include a live link within the README of your repo as well, so someone can click on that, excuse me, on that, and then go and interact with your application or whatever you've built, just the same way that they would through a portfolio. So definitely focus on your GitHub, your README, and just your general code quality there. And I'd say finally, a portfolio, really, what is it? It's a way to showcase your projects. So it all boils down to your projects and how good your projects are. A portfolio website's not going to get you a job if your projects are not fantastic, or at least, decent enough to impress somebody. So I would say I like efficiency, and it's the reason I never built my portfolio website, because it felt like every hour I spent on that, and I know that I'd really want to do it right and spend a lot of hours, is hours taken away from me actually building a proper project using, say, Ruby on Rails or the stack that I'm interested in. So that's why I never built one, because if I'm thinking of it from an efficiency perspective, it's way more efficient, and there's way more value that I'm going to get and be able to give out if I focus on upskilling myself, building other projects that are not my portfolio website, right? Because the portfolio website is just going to be front end, and I'm more interested in the full stack. So I'd rather invest in all of those skills. So that's why I never built one. And I strongly recommend anyone who's really serious about standing out from the crowd and wants to get a job, it's their first job, take a real world problem, something really simple, okay, and then solve it with code. Build an application and put it into production so it's live, and it has to work, right? Otherwise it wouldn't be live, it wouldn't have real users. And get a user, just get one user, build it for a single user, and then you might find two, then you might get three, right? The point here is to build something that is real and solves a real problem and has a user that can give you feedback. This will give you far more to talk about in an interview, and in my opinion is far more impressive than a lot of the toy apps that we end up building. And the Odin project is full of toy apps, and they are great at teaching you fundamentals, but they're not you going out and solving a real problem. And to me, as web developers, software engineers, whatever you want to call them, that's what we do. We take a problem in the name of a task or a bug, and we have to go and solve it. No matter what, we have to solve it. So I think that should be your primary focus, is on projects like that. And the portfolio is just a side piece. If you have the time and you really want to build one, go ahead and build one, but focus on projects and your GitHub first, in my opinion. Anyway, I'd be really curious to see what other people think about portfolio websites, whether or not your portfolio helped you get your job. Did you have a portfolio to get your job? What are your experiences out there? And as always, in the true spirit of YouTube, please like and subscribe. And I'd love it if you leave a comment below. Not only does it help the algo, but I actually really enjoy hearing from people and your perspectives as well. Okay, thanks. Have a good night.